All right, what if I told you that the super bright screen on your phone and a simple candle have something profound in common? Yeah, I know, it sounds a little out there. But today we're going to dive into a pretty wild story that connects the bleeding edge of tech with one of the oldest tools for mindfulness. It's all about light, focus, and a link you probably never saw coming.
So, let's break this down. On one side, you've got this absolute beast of a display, pumping out 1,500 nits of brightness. And on the other, just one candle. I mean, one is engineered to basically scream, "Look at me," with hyper-realistic color, and the other is all about quiet focus. So really, what could they possibly have in common? Well, the connection is pretty mind-blowing.
Okay, first things first. To really get this, we've got to speak the language of our screens. And that language is all about one thing: measuring light. It's how we quantify the brightness you're looking at right this second. So, here's the term you need to know: candela per square meter. That sounds super technical, right? But everybody just calls it a nit. And all it really is a way to measure how much light is being blasted out of a tiny piece of your screen and hitting your eyeballs. Every time a company brags about how bright their new phone is, they're talking about nits.
And the difference between screens is just, wow. A professional monitor, the kind used for serious color work, is maybe 100 nits. Your laptop? Probably around 300. But then you get to these fancy new HDR displays, and they can hit 1,500 nits or even more. That's a 15-fold jump in brightness from that Pro monitor. It's a huge difference.
Now, this isn't an accident. Tech companies are in this massive race to make screens brighter and brighter. And for good reason, right? It makes movies look amazing, and it means you can actually see your phone screen when you're outside. But it does make you wonder, as we keep chasing more light, more intensity, could the secret to better focus actually be less light?
All right, let's just completely switch gears. We're going to leave the world of pixels and nits behind for a moment, and instead focus on something much, much simpler: a single flickering flame.
This quote, it's from way back in the 15th century, from an old yoga text. It's talking about a practice called Trataka, which basically means to gaze. And the instruction couldn't be simpler, right? Just look at something, stare at it, until your eyes tear up. That's it.
So what's the point? Well, you know how our minds are always jumping around? From emails to notifications to what you're going to have for dinner? Trataka is designed to stop that. It gives your brain one and only one job: watch the flame. It's like an exercise for your focus muscle, helping you find a bit of quiet in all the noise.
And the actual practice is super simple. You just sit in a dark room, stare at a candle flame, and try not to blink. You keep going until your eyes start to water. That's totally normal, by the way. Then you close your eyes and try to see the after image of the flame in your mind. People who do this swear it calms them down, sharpens their mind, and seriously boosts their ability to concentrate. Okay, let's pause for a second. We've got these two totally different worlds, right? On one hand, you have the hard science of measuring light. It's all numbers and data. On the other, you have this very personal, subjective experience of meditation. They seem like they're on opposite sides of the universe, but believe it or not, there's a scientific bridge that brings them together. And that bridge is sitting right in the middle of your face. It's your eyes, or more specifically, your pupils. You see, they don't just react to light. They're like these tiny little windows into your nervous system, showing us exactly how you're feeling and reacting on a deep physical level. So check this out. A few years ago, some scientists decided to put this to the test. They got a group of meditators and a group of non-meditators, and they used these super precise cameras to watch their pupils while they looked at different kinds of pictures. Some happy, some neutral, and some negative. And the results were pretty amazing. When looking at positive or just neutral images, everyone's pupils reacted about the same. But when the negative images popped up, something really interesting happened. The meditators' pupils reacted completely differently. They behaved almost as if they were looking at something neutral. So what does that actually mean? Well, it suggests that meditation, a practice like candle gazing, can literally train your body's automatic fight or flight response system. The meditators were just less reactive, they were calmer on a deep physiological level, and they bounced back faster. We're not just talking about feeling calm, this is a real, measurable, physical change in the body. In fact, get this, the difference was so obvious that a computer algorithm could tell who was a meditator and who wasn't with 75% accuracy just by looking at how their pupils reacted. Think about that. It's a powerful piece of evidence that something real is happening here.
Okay, so now for the big finale. This is where we bring everything full circle, right back to where we began.
Remember that superficial-sounding unit for brightness we talked about? The candela? The one we use to measure our insane high-tech screens? Well, candela is just the Latin word for candle. Yep, a candle.
So we've literally come full circle. For thousands of years, a candle was a source of light, but also a tool for focus. Then, in the 20th century, we took that exact flame and made it the scientific standard for measuring brightness. And now, today, we use that standard to create these incredibly bright screens that we often need a break from. And how do we find that break? By going right back to the simple candle.
And that kind of leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? As our world gets brighter and our screens demand more and more of our attention, have we maybe forgotten the simple power of a single flame? Maybe, just maybe, the key to finding clarity isn't about getting more information or more brightness, but about finding our focus in one single, steady point of light.